fact that our fear, concern, our stress levels may have gone down when we see this forecast, realize that we're still going to be in some, really dangerous waters in fairly fresh breeze, and things can happen. What can happen? Well, nothing if you're on the world's fastest monohull, right? I mean, setting records all over the planet. We chartered the speedboat from their original team, 1K. It's like this boat's a Volvo 70 on steroids. This picture was in 2011, and we learned to sail it really well. We sailed Cows Week in and out of the Solent. We simplified the sail plan. This boat was a ripper, and it was set up for point-to-point record breaking, and we broke a lot of records just preparing for the transatlantic in 2011, which we set the record on, and almost set the 24-hour record without even realizing the boat was so fast. Like, I got an email 20 hours into the run like, hey, are you gonna set the record? I'm like, what is the record? Like, yeah, I mean, we'd just been cruising in smooth water, VMG running. This boat was incredible. And we had a really good run going into it, and we decided to do the Fastnet Race and add another notch to our team's belt. And there's famous Fastnet Rock. Now, water a little bit colder than it is here in California, not much. Up on the southwest tip of Ireland, famous, one of the great yachting races of all time, and that's the landmark that you sail around and then get back to England. There is a picture of Rambler taken by Rolex photographer Daniel Forster on as we rounded Fastnet Rock. A few fortunate things going on right here. One, most everybody's on deck because you want to see Fastnet Rock when you round it. It's like, Mark, you'll get up even if you're off watch. And the boys have been repairing jibs for a while. And so this is the last picture of the boat known as Rambler 100 ever sailing. About 20 minutes later, loudest bang I ever heard. You guys have probably mostly heard the story, but I bring it up in that the conditions were no different than the conditions we're going to have out here the first night and a half. Water temperature about the same, wind speed 23. Yeah, we were going upwind at the time, but hey, it's a 100-foot boat. You could barely, we're launching off the waves. Keel fin broke, and thanks to just a bunch of fortunate circumstances, there were no loss of life. And part of that was due to the safety preparation that the owner, George David, and the team went through. And most of that was with equipment in the form of really good life jackets, really good foul weather gear, and personally provided pocket EPIRBs, of which 2 out of the entire 21 crew members had on their body at the time. So they don't work unless you have your pocket EPIRB in your pocket. That signal that I had of the EPIRB I had in my pocket eventually brought a search team out, and we were rescued, and the 5 people who were separated. That was a fun ride in the little dinghy down the slippery 100,000 grit sanded Rambler 100 hull into the arms of our rescuers. The 5 people got separated. Luckily, they all had their life jackets on. And it was because we just rounded Fastnet Rock, and I had emailed Daniel Forster, who wanted to know to get the money shot. And the rules required you, when you were reefed, under ROC rules, when you're reefed, to have your life jackets on. And the guys I see, this all-pro crew, sometimes when you were required to have the life jacket on, they might not have it on. But I whined at them like 3 times. Like, it's gonna be a photograph, guys. Get them on. And because of that, everybody on deck had their life jackets on, which never would have happened normally despite the rules. 5 people who had their life jackets on got separated away 3 hours in 58-degree water. I don't know if I could have made it. Wendy here, lying down, almost did, and had to be airlifted off 3 days in the intensive care. Takeaways. What were the 2 big takeaways from the Rambler 100 incident? Every crew member wrote down their experiences, and everybody had a different experience because it all happened over the course of about 4 or 5 minutes from the Big Bang. What were the 2 main takeaways? Life jacket. Said the two main takeaways are the same thing that my mom told me when I first started messing around in boats. Always wear your life jacket. And the other takeaway? Always stay with the boat if you can. I mean, those guys couldn't. They tried. The five that separated. And you know, we do a lot of training and we read a lot of safety studies and stuff, and all this is good. But basically, to me, and one of my takeaways here is that safety is a group, a team on a boat mentality, and it's built up through the years of sort of seamanship and messing around in boats that we do. Because no one system is always going to work. No one man overboard recovery system, no one, you know, do we do this first or that first? Do we pocket EPIRB or the pocket AIS? There are decisions. Do I swim out of the boat under to the left? Do I swim out under it to the aft? These decisions are sort of innate things that you have to make or other people have to make. Like, shit, I got a rope in my hand, let's throw it out and maybe somebody will grab it instead of getting floated away. In the split second that those decisions are made, these are the type of reasons why, A, you want to be sailing with people who are good seamen, or have good sailing experience, and treasure the people that you are on board with, and look out for those that don't have less, because I guarantee you we did not have any loss of life on Rambler because there were people like that made split-second decisions. I won't go into them now, it's just sort of big picture. Good experienced sailors are good value. And the other thing is that you have to have a respect for safety and a responsibility to your crew and to the people around you. I made fun about slowing down Mighty Merlot, but we do have a responsibility out there on the water. The race instructions require us to monitor channel 16, and I always do that, because if our brothers and sisters, whether they're Mexican fishermen or another boat in the race, if somebody needs help and you're the closest one there, you can save a life, and that's more important than anything we can do. The safety briefings on the Rambler after that race changed so much. I mean, a lot of things changed, but instead of being like this 15-minute here's the button, here's the GPS, somebody needs to point a watch, and you didn't really listen to where anything was stowed and stuff, like somebody else will figure that out, right? I'll never have to grab the grab bag. And all of a sudden, our meetings would go on the day before, because we didn't have time morning of the race, and they were 2.5 hours, and they were fun. And we talked, and we really, with the crew, got engaged. And we got a lot of new equipment, like handheld lasers, so we could burn out the eyes of the helicopter pilot. No, we got to keep them away from the eyes of the helicopter pilots that are coming to rescue you. But we got new pocket AIS devices, as well as the aforementioned pocket EPIRBs, and a fanny pack with some other cool stuff too. And we started having a mini grab bag on deck, and we started carrying a VHF on deck as well, so we could not only hear the calls, but also, if that's the only VHF you end up with, it's better than the one that you didn't grab, that's downstairs and hard to get to. So I entreat you to, I know all of you have done many of you have done tons of races, and nothing bad's ever happened. And nothing bad had ever happened to George David and Wendy, but stuff does happen, and we're going out into a place where we need to respect Mother Nature, even though we're going downwind all the way to Puerto Vallarta. And have fun, but respect safety and set a good example. We're the leaders in the sport. If we don't set a good example to the new guys and girls that are coming on, ain't nobody else gonna do it. And that has to do not only with safety, but following the rules and everything. Obviously, you guys are gonna have a great race. You're gonna pay attention to where you are, and Jeff's gonna make sure you don't run into the Ramada Inn on to meet them now.
All right, thank you, Peter.